Hey everybody, Mac the Monster, back with Marvel Heroes, and back with Punisher, and we got his Quality of Life level 52 review going on, and they definitely improved him quite a lot. They added a new mechanic called ammo, which basically replaces his spirit, and you spend this ammo now instead of the previous spirit that he had. It's kind of new, makes a new, it's not really a mechanic, I guess, because it's really spirit, but it's the way it is. His stats are now 3 durability, 3 strength, 6 fighting, 3 speed, 3 energy, and 3 intellect. Stats are kind of at a middle line. He's a starting hero. Um, so I do have a build for him. And his skills, they didn't change all too much. They still got the 2 shotgun skills. They added a sniper shot. Uh, that's on an 8-second cooldown. Does high damage. They added Magnum shot, which does 6 shots like a Magnum revolver. And it does some pretty good damage, and depending on the line of heavy weapons you go on, depends on what kind of extra damage it does. They added submachine guns, which do a high rate of fire, and each shot costs 12 ammo, so you can burn your ammo down in a heartbeat on those guys. Let's see what else they add. They added rapid reload, which is kind of the mechanic that works with the ammo. You actively hit this to restore 100% of your ammo. We'll get more into that later as I go over the skill. What else do they add? They added a flashbang, and this kind of works like any other flashbang. And does damage, terrifies enemies instead of blinding them, and it weakens them. And then you really got 2 choices here. Let me activate this, reset this. And you got which one did I reset? Reset that one. Reset this one. Okay, there it goes. So you got 2 choices of what they call heavy weapons. You got the flamethrower, and that does physical damage as well as damage over time, and you got a damage shield of 50% while using it. This is almost like a signature in itself. But then submachine guns, buckshot blast, flechette blast, volatile nerve gas, burst fire, and magnum all have special effects based off of a flamethrower. And then if you go with Old Painless, which is basically 50 shots that do direct damage, it's like a machine gun. First hit, first come, first damaged. That doesn't shoot through. It got a damage shield, at least it didn't on test server. It could be wrong now. Channel it for 4.9 seconds. It's got a 20-second cooldown. And it costs you 100 ammo, just like this. Although this doesn't cost ammo at all. So that's something to remind you. But Magnum, Headshot, Buckshot Blast, Rocket Propel Grenade, Burst Fire, and Submachine Guns all have a special effect if you take Old Painless. So you got to kind of think about what you're doing as well with your basic attacks, your regular attacks, as well as your heavy weapons. So you kind of want to tie everything together as best as you can. And that's what they've done. So for me, I brought back the Scorched Earth build. And so this is the Scorched Earth. What we're going to do here is we're going to do 20 points into Buckshot Blast. Now I like the shotguns because they don't spend quite as much ammo for as fast as they shoot. Flechette Blast isn't bad. However, Buckshot Blast just blows it out of the water DPS wise. Even though Flechette Blast has damage over time, with our heavy weapon choice, it still beats Buckshot Blast, still beats the Flechette Blast with the dot on it. If the dot's stacked, maybe the dot could outbeat it, but I doubt it. It's a big DPS gain on Buckshot Blast, so that's why I go for that. And that's going to be our basic attack, our workhorse. We're going to do 20 points into Rapid Reload. This is going to give us maximum ammo. It's going to give us damage rating to range powers, critical hit rating, brutal strike rating. It gives us accuracy, which gives us more critical hit rating and critical damage rating. And then, of course, the active effect, we cover 100% of our maximum ammo. We gain damage rating for 8 seconds. If you have less than 25% ammo when you trigger Rapid Reload, which you probably always will. It's got a cooldown of 20 seconds, 15 seconds if you're below 25% ammo, which you should always use this when you're below 25% ammo, unless you're running around and you have, nothing else to do. One of those times where you might as well use it because it's going to be a while before you come across something again. You can get that cooldown running. Because if you're not below 25%, you're looking at a 20-second cooldown. You might as well get your ammo down below 25%. Ammo cost reduction affixes reduce rapid reloads cooldown instead of reducing ammo costs. Cooldown currently reduced by 8%. Pain tolerance. This is an awesome ability. It's passive. You ignore 7% of damage per 10% missing health up to 70%. Max damage ignored is 48.7% currently. Defense rating, maximum health, projectile deflection, and regenerate 100% of your maximum health when you are defeated. So again, another hero that can't be defeated even when he's defeated. And you can activate this and terrify enemies if you want. One of the bad things about Punisher is you could literally have 2 bars almost full, action bars, full of abilities to use, and there's people out there actually playing with 2 bars. This is a 1-bar build, and I actually don't use one of the abilities. I took that often. So if you're looking for a little bit easier to play build, this will be a little bit easier. But Punisher is now a very involved player. He just has a lot of tie-in skills. So we're going to do 20 points into Pineapple Grenade. This is going to give us physical damage, damage over time, twice per second for 8 seconds. Also, enemies take 10% more damage for 8 seconds. And that's only for 70 ammo. So when we come across blues, yellows, and bosses, we're going to drop that on them every 8 seconds. Volatile Nerve Gas. This gives us a big chunk of physical damage for 120 ammo on a 6-second cooldown. And also because of our heavy weapon choice, it's going to give us damage over time, twice per second physical damage for 6 seconds. And it's going to snare everything by 50%. And then we can use our flamethrower to make this explode for 50 to 75,000 damage. So we're going to use this for extra damage as well. We're not going to throw them all over the place. We're going to throw these on yellows. We're going to throw these on bosses and do some extra damage. We're going to do 20 points into the Davy Crockett. This is the signature. Fires a rocket up. It does pretty decent damage. And then it does physical damage twice per second in an area for 6 seconds on a 30-second cooldown. You're invulnerable for 2 seconds when you fire it. So that's another thing to remember, that you're invulnerable for 2 seconds. You're going to do 20 points into Flamethrower. This does so much damage, it's almost like it's another signature. It does so much damage because you're going to drop a volatile nerve gas down, and you're going to get that going, and then you're going to ignite that off with the flamethrower. This does damage twice per second. It sets a dot on everything, so they burn twice per second. It gives you a 50% damage shield while you're channeling for 3.5 seconds, and then it adds all these extra bonuses to our abilities. So we took Buckshot Blast. and that's going to deal bonus damage against vulnerable enemies. So now, because this does damage 20% against vulnerable enemies, and what do we got? We got Pineapple Grenade that makes everything vulnerable. So we got that tie-in. And then Magnum to deal bonus targets against bleeding, burning, and poisoned enemies. The volatile nerve gas poisons. As far as I know, it's a poison. And the flamethrower burns. So we got Magnum, which is our final skill. The rest of the points go into Magnum. And that's it. So I have his full kit over here. We'll start with the Davy Crockett nuclear device. It's 958 damage rating, so there's no defense on his slot 5. Decrease the cooldown of Davy Crockett by 2 seconds, so you get to use your signature a little bit quicker. 319 crit hit rating, 1,686 critical damage rating, 549 damage rating to area powers. All this build, by the way, is area except for Magnum, and that's the skill I tend not to use. So this is all very good. 16% power radius. It's again power, area powers, so that's awesome. 15% chance on using rocket propelled grenade. We don't use it. 1,200 health. Plus 4 ranks to all Punisher's firepower powers. Plus 2 ranks to Punisher's demolition powers, and plus 8 ranks to the Davy Crockett. That's just awesome. Standard issue U.S. Marine Corps Jungle Boots. 1,515 defense, 1,365 health, plus 2 fighting, 46% chance to inflict a grievous wound on the target, causing them to bleed for 22,000 damage over 5 seconds. This effect can stack up to 3 times. When you reach 3 stacks, gain 347 brutal strike rating and 1,100 brutal damage rating for 8 seconds. That's just nasty. 5.2 move speed. When you critically hit, gain 2% movement speed and 2% attack speed for 8 seconds. This stacks up to 3 times. It's got some special item find on it. Plus 2 to all powers. Plus 4 to Punisher's all salt powers. That's basically all that works for us here. We got the whole 9 yards. If you didn't know, the whole 9 yards was a 50 calibers belt-fed ammunition belt, was 9 yards long. That's where the expression comes from, the whole 9 yards. So when they were flying up in the planes and the flying fortresses and everything, they would sit there and say, let's give them the whole 9 yards when the fighter planes were coming into attack. So the whole 9 yards, this has a huge chunk of defense, and we need it because we're missing a defensive piece. 2,383 defense rating, decreases the cooldown and rapid reload by 1 second. That's nice too. 1,270 health, 246 damage rating to ranged powers. Ranged attacks deal more damage the closer you are to your target by up to 11% at minimal range. When you use reload, your next 15 ranged attacks gain 433 crit rating and brutal strike rating, 10-second cooldown. Each attack lowers the bonus effects by 11 critical hit and brutal strike rating. These effects cannot be lowered more than 1 second. It gives you 86 ammo, 5.8 attack speeds, plus 2 to all powers, plus 6 ranks to all to rapid reload. So that's just awesome. Warzone Flak Jacket. This has got 2,100 defense, 375 damage rating, 1,818 health, 3,350 health regeneration per minute. Oops. 3% chance when you're hit to cause nearby enemies to cower in place for 3 seconds on a 5-second cooldown. 1 strength, which is just awesome for physical. He's all physical, by the way. There's nothing else. 12.1% projectile deflection. You take 4.2 less damage from enemy area powers. 4% base boss damage. When your health drops below 50%, gain +1 durability, 1,766 defense rating, and 441 tenacity for 5 seconds. 20-second cooldown. That's pretty awesome. +1 to all powers, +1 to ranged powers, +7 ranks to pain tolerance. That's just sickening. All his uniques are just sickening. He's pretty well hooked up. I got the sword gun here. This is 1132 damage rating, 1457 critical damage rating, 22% chance to cause the target to bleed for 6600 physical damage over 5 seconds when you hit. Who cares? When you critically hit, gain 215 physical damage rating and 1 fighting for 8 seconds, so that should be permanently up. 276 critical hit rating, 736 brutal damage rating, 225 brutal strike rating, +1 to all powers, +3 to Punisher's firepower powers, +6 ranks to heavy weapon powers. So that's just pretty sickening. I put a Relic of Lemuria on him. It just tends to fall back. He takes damage so much he needs some kind of health regain. I wish I had about 50 stacks of those. Using a defensive Euro with River of the Soul. Probably not the best Boazon, obviously. Would be awesome. However, the recovery of ammo isn't too bad. And even though it's only 6, it lasts long enough. Gives you some ammo. And the -6 power ammo cost actually reduces the cooldown of rapid reload, so you're getting it down to somewhere around 12 seconds. Not bad so far. And then I got his Omega Effect costume, and it's got all health. Oh, it's missing grade 4. Yeah, it doesn't really matter right now. It's got to regenerate 25% of your health. I swear I had grade 4. I think when I put the costume core on, it bugged out and took off my grade 4. I might have to report this bug. It's got physical damage rating, regenerate 25% of my health, and 100 ammo when I use a med kit. 100 ammo is kind of useless, but you know, hey. It's got all health on it. And then I got a Savage Axe of Ares. I'm kind of hemming and hawed over which actual legendary to use. Gugner kind of hung in there. But Savage Axe got enough crit rating, because he's got a high crit chance already. I wanted the brutal strike chance and the brutal strike damage rating, and the physical damage rating on this. That's just going to make him hit so hard. So I think the Savage Axe was a pretty strong choice. Got an Insignia of Bullseye. When you hit with any power unit, your allies gain 128 damage rating versus vulnerable targets. We're making things vulnerable. 183 brutal strike rating and 399 brutal damage rating for 8 seconds. This one's got 1347 health, 567 defense. This is the Herbie that I'm leveling, but the +3 strength will come in handy. The ring I gave him is 143 brutal strike rating, 183 defense, 531 critical damage rating, and 434 brutal damage rating. +1 to all powers. So, for artifacts, I went with a Power Prism Shard. -10% ammo cost to area powers. 8% power radius, 240 critical hit rating to area attacks. Pluvian Superconductor, 505 damage rating to area powers. It's all area. Advanced Crimson Crystal Siderec with 2% chance to become invulnerable for 4 seconds, 534 physical damage rating, 1644 health. And then a Magneto Was Right t-shirt. These just come in pretty handy. 121 crit rating, 222 damage rating, 375 damage rating. Range powers are all ranged. Pretty sure they're all ranged. Except for rapid reload. But who cares? And then 121 brutal strike rating. And then Dr. Octopus Medallion, which is giving us 19% power radius, 201 damage rating, 213 critical hit rating to area powers, and +2 to all powers. So that's hooking us up pretty good. As you can see, let's see, all our crit ratings are the same. So that's 41% chance to crit. And actually, no, our area crit rating's higher. 45.9% chance to crit. And where's the brutal strike? Is 27.1% chance to brute. Not too shabby. And then we'll go to take on Dr. Octopus. Now for this, I got the Buckshot Blast as my main attack. The Tactical Roll is my right button. The Rapid Reload as 6. Pineapple Grenade is 5. Volatile Nerve Gas is 4. Flamethrower is 3. Davy Crockett is 2. And then Magnum is 1. And so I can roll. I got my base attack there. I keep my fingers on 5, 4, and 3. I just use 6 to reload. And then 7 is going to be my med kit, so I have to stretch over. But by doing that, I can always just drop a volatile mine and hit the flamethrower to ignite it. And it's right there, and then I just move my finger over to fire off the Davy Crockett rocket. That's basically it. So we'll do Dr. Octopus. It's a little bit confusing of a rotation. You have to play it a lot to get kind of used to it. It's not too bad once you're used to it, though. I got excited over all these eternity splinters. If you're not shooting, it's because you got to hit reload. Well, I find he's in a better spot. I don't like him as much as I like Iceman. He can definitely drop some damage. Oh, I need some more enemies. Maybe he'll summon some stuff and we'll get off that. He gets hung up on some things too, that's new. He does summon. And that was pretty easy to destroy. So I think he's one of the first gun characters done really well. He's not bad. Pretty good for a starting character. Kind of got to get used to the reload thing. But the abilities altogether do massive damage. They just destroy things. I like dealing with the bosses more than I like dealing with the trash. He just destroys bosses. Maintains a high amount of DPS in single targets. It's amazing. So I hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed, and talk to everybody real soon.